In this video, I'm going to show you how you can animate something like this in 15 minutes or less. Now, I want to emphasize that I'm not an expert on any of this. I just started animation like 5 seconds ago, and I just want to share this with you because I thought it would be pretty cool. And even if you can't draw, or the only thing that you can draw is a circle, that's more than enough for what we're going to learn today. So thank you for being here, and let's get into it. Okay, before we begin, I want to mention that I am using Krita. It's a free application, and our Wacom Intuos PTK650. It's an old screenless graphics tablet, but the things that I'm going to talk about and go through can be applied to any animation software that you can find, and even traditionally if you're using paper or a pegboard for animating. So there are a few things that I want to go through. I'll explain, give a demonstration, and then show how that can be transferred. So let's begin. So the first thing is there's 3 terms and 3 principles that we're going to use when creating our small animation today. The first term is frames. What is a frame? A frame essentially is an image. That's basically it. It's an image. It's whatever you draw. That is a frame. The second thing is a timeline. The timeline is this thing down here where we're going to be inserting frames. And the third thing is FPS. If you're a gamer, you probably already know what that is, but it works the same for animation. It's frames per second. What it is the amount of images that need to be shown for 1 second to pass. So if you animate at 24 frames a second, it means that when you play your animation, 24 of those frames will equal to 1 second. The next thing is the principles of animation that we're going to be dealing with. There's 12 main ones, but these are the 3 that we'll need today because I don't want to overcomplicate it. There's anticipation, squash, and stretch. I'm going to show you what the principles are. But before we go there, if you're animating in Krita, this button down here is how you create a new blank frame. This light bulb over here, where it says paint layer 1, is your onion skin. Your onion skin essentially is basically being able to see the frame before or the frame after. So it's like using a light table when you're drawing traditionally on an animation desk, for example. So now the 3 principles: anticipation, stretch, and squash. So we'll start with anticipation. So essentially, the anticipation of a movement is the movement before the main movement. So if someone were to throw a punch, the anticipation would be them curling their hand back before they throw the punch. In the case of this bouncing ball, it would be moving from where it was, stagnant, to rolling back to gain momentum. That essentially is anticipation. That movement from back, coming back forward, from a stagnant position and going back and moving forward. That essentially is anticipation. The next concept is stretch. Stretch is used, as by my understanding, to give a sense of speed or tangibility to an object. So when we say stretch, it technically means this thing is moving fast enough that it's been stretched, essentially. And hand in hand with stretch, we have squash. Squash is when force is applied on an object, essentially, and that object is affected by that force and ends up squashing. So if we play this animation, we see this in effect. We have our anticipation over here where it rolls back, and then we have our stretch over here where it gains speed and momentum, and then we have our squash over here where it stops, and the same thing just carries over. It stretches, it stops, it squashes slightly when it reaches here, and it goes up until it loses momentum and comes to a standstill. I'll give a cleaner example, and if you do not have any particular drawing tools but you still have Krita, you can use the ellipse tool to create the circles and put them on different frames. Anyway, this is a cleaner version of that using just the ellipse tool. So this is at 24 frames a second. So as you can see, we have the same thing happening here. Starting frame, it moves back slightly and then pushes forward. Then it comes here, then it stretches, and then it moves faster and faster until it hits the ground, squishes completely, and then starts to expand as it goes back up, losing momentum, so the arc is smaller. Then it comes back down until it comes to a standstill. And that essentially is everything that you need to know to be able to create what I showed in the beginning, which is this essentially. I hope you've understood what we have gone through so far. I'm going to try to create a little demonstration to show what the actual process is like, and hopefully you can be able to see exactly what I'm talking about in action. Okay, so one of the best ways I've found to learn animation and all these other things is to look at images of animation breakdowns on Pinterest, like the one that will show up on screen now. So I'm going to do something similar to that, or something exactly like that. Maybe you guys can also open an animation program and try it out and maybe see how it goes. But before I go ahead and make this animation, I also want to suggest 3 channels listed here that I think you guys should check out if you want anything regarding animation. I think it's going to really help you guys out. So I'm going to make this animation and then we'll see how it turns out. So yeah. Okay, now that I'm done with doing the animation, which took slightly longer than I wish it did, but we can play it for the first time together and see how it turned out. So here we go, 3, 2, 1. Okay, not bad. Of course, it's not the cleanest thing out there, but the point is we made an inanimate object move and move relatively naturally. So I think I'm going to end this video here. I don't want to make it too long, so thank you for watching this video. If you did, I hope you learned something new. If not, I hope that this was at least entertaining. If you want to know my process on rendering, I have a video of that I made recently, and if you want to know why I'm even animating in the first place, there's another video that I made. They should both be up on the screen right now. Other than that, thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Take care and goodbye.